So Dorian was devastating to the Bahamas, Imelda was devastating for Texas, and Lorenzo has made history. Lorenzo makes history. It's the largest and strongest hurricane ever recorded in this part of the Atlantic. Hurricane Lorenzo. There was a Hurricane Lorenzo in 2013 as well, and there was a Hurricane Lorenzo in 2007. But in 2019, Lorenzo is a major hurricane, the most powerful hurricane to make it so far east in the Atlantic. Category 4, Beast Lorenzo of 2019. 145 mile per hour winds at his peak. Pretty damn impressive storm. Because it's almost October, it's the 28th of September. We're well past the peak of Atlantic hurricane season now. Category 4 Lorenzo setting records, Karen a weakening tropical depression. 1989 was also the same name list, but we never got up to the L storm in 1989. It stopped at K. Karen was the last one in 1989. This year we definitely got our L storm, Lorenzo. Hurricane Lorenzo, as seen by satellite. And this is from Friday morning, 27th of September 2019, when Lorenzo had winds of 140 miles per hour. Spectacular Hurricane Lorenzo continues to churn in the central Atlantic, in a region where no hurricane so intense or so large has ever been observed. At 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday, Lorenzo had weakened slightly to a Category 4 hurricane with 140 mile per hour winds. Lorenzo had peaked with 145 mile per hour winds and a central pressure of 937 millibars at 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday at 42.1% longitude. Degrees, not percent. Both the winds and the pressure at that time were all-time records for a hurricane so far east in the Atlantic. According to National Hurricane Center, the only comparable hurricane in recent times near Lorenzo's location was Gabrielle of 1989, which peaked as a Category 4 hurricane with 145 mile per hour winds at 55.7 degrees west instead of 42.1. So big difference in longitude. And then Lorenzo had weakened to a Category 3 with top winds of 125 mile per hour after this was written. Lorenzo has a minimum central pressure of 937 hectopascals at 42.1 degrees west, the lowest for a hurricane this far east in the Atlantic on record. Prior record for less than 937 hectopascals was Edward at 47 degrees west in 1996. MSLP has been consistently recorded in Atlantic hurricane databases since 1979. So it's the air pressure record. Lorenzo's intensity was based solely on satellite estimates, as the hurricane was too far away from any airports that the hurricane hunters could fly from. This will change Friday afternoon when two NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft, which left Barbados on Friday morning, will be conducting a research mission into Lorenzo. I'm not familiar with any Hurricane Hunter missions ever done on a storm so far to the east. With moderate wind shear, 10 to 20 knots, and warm sea surface temperatures near 27 to 28 degrees expected through Sunday, Lorenzo has the opportunity to maintain major hurricane status into early next week. Satellite images from early Friday afternoon showed a modest degradation of the eyewall thunderstorms compared to Friday morning, but Lorenzo still presented a formidable spectacle due to its huge size and prominent eye, surrounded by intense eyewall thunderstorms with very cold cloud tops. With winds of 145 miles per hour, Hurricane Lorenzo really is in a league of its own for this time of year. Michael Lowry. Models agree that Lorenzo will carry out a classic recurving path over the central and eastern Atlantic as it gradually weakens, reaching the northwestern Azores Islands on Tuesday afternoon or evening. Lorenzo will be a massive wave generator due to its high intensity, longevity, and huge size. Lorenzo's tropical storm force winds extended out 450 miles from northwest to northeast at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday. On Thursday afternoon, when Lorenzo's wind field was not as expansive, an analysis of the Atlantic Hurricane Database by Eric Webb found that Lorenzo was the largest hurricane ever observed so far east, with a size that ranked in the 85th percentile for all historical Category 4 and 5 hurricanes. The strongest hurricane to make landfall in the Azores on record did so in 1926. Hurricane 8 that year made landfall on the islands of Sao Miguel with max winds of 105 miles per hour. Over the last 50 years, Azores hurricane history. And I think I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. Over the past 50 years, 20 named storms have tracked through the Azores, including 4 Category 1 hurricanes, according to NOAA's Historical Hurricane Tracks website. None of these storms did significant damage, according to MDAT, the International Database, Disaster Database, and National Hurricane Center storm summaries. There was just one fatality from these storms, Tropical Storm Bonnie, which killed 1 person in the Azores in 1992. The islands did have one bad hurricane in less recent times though. A 1946 Category 1 hurricane killed 27 people in the Azores, according to the MDAT. The strongest hurricane to make landfall in the Azores was Hurricane 8 of 1926, which made landfall on the island of Sao Miguel as a Category 2 storm with 105 mile per hour winds, which they've already mentioned, but they've mentioned it again. Glad I'm not the only person who repeats myself. So, Miguel has the same value as Martin, and Lorenzo has a value of 105. So there you go. And Karen decays to a tropical depression. Yes, so Karen, like I said, was the last name given to a storm in 1989, and 1989 was the year Jeff Masters flew through Hurricane Hugo. And that's quite a story too. So yeah, Lorenzo, quite a big system. Oh, steamboat. Yeah, steamboat geyser. It did go off. I made some videos on the 25th of September. I made a prediction for it to go off on the 26th. It went off on the 25th, the same day I made my videos. It was 10:22 p.m. in Canberra, and it was 6:22 a.m. in Wyoming. So that's happened a few times now. I've been making a video predicting steamboat geyser's gonna erupt, and then it's erupted while I'm making my video, just before the video, or just after the video, which is kind of weird. But I guess that's what happens when you make predictions about things like steamboat geyser or Atlantic hurricanes. Weird things happen. In 1989, Lorenzo came about. He peaked in strength on the 22nd of October, and that's the anniversary of Jake's death. So that was 1989. And then this year, we had Gabriel. Gabriel died for 6 hours on September 6th, Martin's birthday. And Martin was among the kids who guessed Lorenzo back in 2013 as the big storm. Lorenzo was not the big storm in 2013, but he was the big storm in 2019, 6 years later. I remember Gabriel was on the name list in 2013. And she was on the name list back in 1989, as you may have noticed in that little article. Gabrielle is the only one that compares with Lorenzo for strength and size. Going right back through all the records, there's only one that compares to Lorenzo, and that is Gabrielle. And this year Gabrielle died for 6 hours on September 6th, Martin's birthday. So symbolically, it's kind of weird, to say the least. Weird is a word. Strange is a word. Strange to have a ship in a place where there's a major hurricane. That's a little strange. There you go. Current temperatures. Bad Mirror Man equals 126. Bad Mirror Man. 12.6 degrees in Hobart. 12.6 degrees in Perth. Bad Mirror Man times 2. 123 is the value of Narcissus. Narcissus is the daffodil. The Bad Mirror Man equals 173. The Bad Mirror Man. Bad Mirror Man, no, The Bad Mirror Boy is 173. The Bad Mirror Boy. And Bad Mirror Man is 126. Yeah, must get it right. Prediction is 113. 11 and 13. Jake was 11, Nathan was 13. Symbolism, man. Where does it mention Gabrielle? Just here. The only comparable hurricane in recent times near Lorenzo's location was Gabrielle of 1989. So that's pretty cool. But Gabrielle was further to the west compared to this one. So, what's happening with this? All we know is that a rescue mission was launched for a ship that was in trouble near Lorenzo. That's all we know. Can't read the rest of the story. And one other thing. A monster snake caught inside a Queensland home. Snake catchers have removed a monstrous, speaking of big monstrous things, red-bellied black snake from a home in far north Queensland. Good looking though. The venomous animal was found in the lakes area in Cairns North and was longer than a metre in size. Yes, way over a metre. Catchers from the Cairns snake removal groups posted images of the snake to social media and warned that the red-bellied species does not necessarily have to show its colour. Red. Season in Cairns is starting. Be aware that the red belly, much like this snake, does not have to be a red belly, the post said. Cairns and surrounds produces them with white, grey, blue-grey and black bellies. The capture comes just days after another 1.8 metre red-bellied black snake was captured southeast of Brisbane, found on the Belmont shooting range near a large creek system. The snake was described as abnormally large. Yes, like Lorenzo. It's currently breeding season for snakes, so the big male was likely looking for females. Spokesman from Snake Catchers Brisbane told 9news.com.au, unless it was gay. Red-bellied black snakes are naturally placid and will usually retreat before attacking, but they have been known to flatten their bodies and hiss loudly when threatened. Yeah, I saw one do that once. I nearly rode my pushbike on top of one. It did exactly that. There are no recorded human deaths. No recorded human deaths from red-bellied black snakes, although bites can cause bleeding, swelling, nausea, vomiting, headache, abdominal pain, diarrhea, sweating, local or general muscle pain and weakness. You can end up looking like this. Red-bellied black snakes are typically found in southeast Queensland, eastern New South Wales and Victoria. Yes, we have them here. We have big ones here sometimes. Big, fat ones. So, Lorenzo is 105, and that's where the time froze last night. Because I left my computer on. And that's where it froze. At 11:05. Friday, 27th of September 2019. How cool is that? Lorenzo 105. And it froze there. Do you really need to see the current time? It's 9:18 the next day. That's where it froze. So there you go. Bad Mirror Man, Narcissus, and the other one's changed. We've lost the bad Mirror Boy. He's gone away. Okay, cool. We're done.